I'm going to record this. This is a kind of a cool subject. I was talking to Charles Jarnigan yesterday, and he finally went back and looked at all the people that turned or quit his school since the beginning of the year. And he was totally upset. He goes, man, my guys must be doing something wrong. We lost 45 people. I go, Charles, 45 people, that's since the beginning of the year? He goes, yes. I go, that's not bad. When you get 160 students, you lose 45 in 8 months. You know, that's really good. He goes, well, we went over all of them because I messed up. He says, I just yelled at all my guys first, and then I calmed down a little, and we went through all of them, and 11 didn't have what he considered a valid excuse. I go, well, that's like losing hardly anyone, Charles, so you're doing really, really good. He says, I'm going to start the flow with RainMaker to make sure that I have a constant flow going. Once I have a student going from an active student to a non-active student, I want to make sure they get a flow. And I think RainMaker has already that built in. And it's when you switch a student from active to non-active, then that kicks in. They have one sample. And then Charles and I just started discussing why we want to get our students back, how we want to leave the situation when they exit the school. Do we want everyone to come back, and what type of offers we should make? So let me share my screen with you. So I came up with this exiting student protocol. Again, this is if you have a student that you want to have return, which probably I'm going to say most of them. We've all had that rotten apple that we probably don't want to come back to school. As soon as I started talking with Charles and I came up with this question, do you want them all back? I immediately started thinking of 2 or 3 that left me in the past that I'm glad they never returned because they weren't adding to the positivity of the school. So again, now we're just saying, okay, who do we want back? And again, RainMaker has a flow built in, and you can do it through texting, through emails. Also think somewhere in here should be some type of phone calls too, because we want to make sure that we stay in contact with people. It's not everything automated, so we got to throw in a couple phone calls too. So when do you mark someone from being an active student to non-active? Well, I think there's 2 things. If you actually have a contact with the student goes, hey, you know, I'm moving or this and that. This will be my last month of classes. So we definitely know that he's a non-active student. Then I think we just have to assume that if someone's gone for 30 days, we have tried doing phone calls, they're not accepting our phone calls. We tried texting them, they're not returning our text. We just got to kind of bite the bullet on this one and just mark them non-active because we want to make sure now we have some type of positive contact with them. So again, you have to kind of decide all this on your own. I think it just makes sense. We know someone comes in our office and says, you know, I'm out of here. You know, we can put them non-active right away. And then we just have to look. I know I talked to you guys a couple weeks ago when I was saying that when my grandkids decided to take the summer off, they never really contacted the school, but in my mind, they were still active because I knew they were going to go back to the school once summer was over. But if the school owner actually contacted my daughter and said, hey, we miss your kids, she would have just said, yeah, they're going to come back at the end of summer. So at least, you know, if he tried to make contact, he would have got a solid answer. So I think the first thing is you have to have a letter that goes out immediately and just say, sorry, decided to drop out. Is there anything we can do? I'm just talking off the top of my head. You know, if you have come to a stumbling block in your training, if you temporarily lost interest, the best thing may be to not quit, but to work through this. I'm available for private classes. I'm available for extra help. So we want to make sure that they know that they're welcome back. We're willing to go above and beyond if it's just something temporary. Next thing we have to do is we have to make sure we're clear on the finances. So if you have a policy that says that if someone wants to quit, as long as they give you 6 days written notice, 30, whatever your policy is, we have to make sure there's no friction there. Because we don't want someone to want to come back to our school and then them thinking, well, I still owe the school $150. I'm not going to go. They're going to be pissed off at me. So we have to make sure we're clear on the exiting finances. So this may go your way. It may not go your way. So if your policy is, okay, I'm going to give this person 60 days right to cancel, they pay the 60 days. What I would do is send them a certificate for 2 months of classes for when they want to return. I'd probably do something like that. If they said, Mrs. Silva, 60 days is unfair, the reason I'm quitting is because I was driving the car, we got T-boned, my back's, I can't drive, I didn't really want to quit. I'm going to forgive them. I'm not going to keep them to the 60 days. So again, that's going to be an individual situation, but we really want to make sure we're clear on the finances. If someone's had stopped paying us 6 months ago and then they quit and we can't get the money out of them, well, this isn't probably someone we want to get back anyway. So again, I don't want the problem of finances coming later on. I want to make sure when they leave, if I meet them at the grocery store and I'm shopping and they're shopping, I'm going to go and say hello to them. They're going to say hello to me and things like that. I don't want my car getting keyed in the parking lot because someone's mad at the finances. So I'm going to straighten it out. Sometimes I'm going to be happy. Sometimes I'm not going to be happy. But the important thing is life has to go on. Let's keep the door open for all the students who want to get back in. First letter I would have going out after sorry dropped out would be 30 days later. 30 days later, I can't believe 30 days have passed. We haven't seen you in class. I hope you're doing something to keep yourself fit. Just a reminder that we left on really good terms. If you ever want to restart your training, we'd love to have you back in the school. Now, this 30 days, I would continue. We don't want to overload them with emails. So I think maybe one email every 30 days and one text message every 30 days would be a good protocol. Now, what do you say? You can't say we miss you on every one. So we got to say, okay, what are we going to do and when are we going to send these out? So one would be for seminars. If you're that you're having a seminar, Mr. D. Castillo knows he's having a Krav camp. Well, the month before that Krav camp, he's going to send, miss your class. I know you haven't been training, but we got a killer Krav camp coming up. It's going to be this. Would love to have you attend. Put the pricing and everything so people are getting something like that. If you're doing a holiday party, now I know you haven't been to the school, the letter would start, but you've been part of the school in 2017. We were having a holiday party. A lot of students would get together. I know you still have a lot of friends here at the school. Would love to see you show up at the holiday party. That'd be a real nice email that you could time to come out in December. If you're using the Black Belt Excellence Sheets or something like that, I think sending out a mat chat once a month, I think would be a really cool idea because a lot of kids and parents really like working those together and still keeps them kind of active and finding out what's going on in the school. The parents will see these coming through monthly. They go, wow, here's another good lesson from the martial arts school. So I think doing the Black Belt Excellence Sheets, if you're doing those now, we have an electronic copy so people can download it themselves. So it's zero cost to you. And at the same time, maybe you want to just take one of the mat chats, not my version that I'm saying, but kind of take that information, put a little video together, post that on your, you can talk a little while about having an alumni page where people can go to, but at least post that on there. If you're going to do some type of videos, so Mr. Baxter's going to do a self-defense tip of the month, and he's going to send that all to people every 4 months out of the year. That's probably cool, just so they can see Mr. Baxley in action, see what he's doing, maybe get re-energized. Wow, that's some cool stuff. I forgot about that one. So I think putting a link to the video on these would be really nice. And then along with this, we want to direct people for more information. So I think it'd be really nice to have a private alumni page. You can't call this the quitters page, but it's for non-active students that still have some type of interest in martial arts. They're going to go there. You're going to put some tips on there. Paul Garcia has a private alumni page. He'll get out there and he'll just talk about something, motivation. Mr. D. Castillo shared a cool video with me yesterday that I posted on the RainMaker Business Solutions. A video like this would be really nice on your alumni page. You just kind of keep reminding people of all the stuff that they're missing and why they decide to do martial arts in the first place. Well, if parents aren't taking their kids to karate, I'm sure they still want to go out for dinner, so inviting their kids to Parents' Night Out and having them know that if your child is no longer in our program, but you still want to enjoy our services of Parents Night Out. They're always available to you. They have to know that at the beginning, but that'd be a good text reminder. So at the first of the month, just a text reminder to all the parents, hey, theme of the month or theme of the Parents Night Out this time is Atomic Dodgeball. We'd love to have your child there. So that'd be a good reminder for text. Anytime you're having an event, Mr. DeCastile is having black belt testing next week at his school, and this would be a good time to invite all the ex-students to come in. You're no longer training in the school. However, a lot of your friends have made it to black belt. They're going to be celebrating. It would be really, really cool if you could show your support and shake their hands and congratulate them. So inviting them to any type of special events, maybe have a guest instructor coming in. Maybe Mr. DeCastile is doing one of his carjacking seminars and want to invite everyone to that. That's another reason to send out an email. Day camps, you know when your regular scheduled day camps are. So if you know that on Veterans Day in February you're going to have a day camp, that'd be a great email to send out beginning of February. They don't have to be an active student to do that. Then we want to keep all these informational emails going on, but we also want to try to get them back into school a few times a year. So if you have some type of fitness program or fitness is part of your martial arts program, sending out something in December about your New Year fitness program or your New Year fitness challenge would be a great email. If you're doing summer classes next year, you have a 8-week summer program. If it's for back to school, but again, once we decide to do a flow, we want to make sure everything's prepared now. So these are just emails that you want to prepare now so everything's automated. So every time you have a student that goes from active to non-active, now they're going to start getting these timely emails. So instead of saying, well, I'll remember to do that to back to school, now do it now. Now this would be a good project for a couple weeks to make sure that this flow is done and it's detailed. I think it'd be pretty neat with people that are in this group, and I know I'm recording this to share with all Rainmakers. If you come up with some killer emails that you'd like to share with other Rainmakers, that'd be a real nice thing to go to post on the Rainmakers Business Solutions. I'll take some top ones. If we get the top 10 emails, I think that'd be a way for really to support each other and show your creativity. So we do that. Also, I would send emails out. One reason I thought about this is I was texting Mr. DeCastile and say, what would you like me to talk to your students about? Because I always like that posters, a black belt is a white belt that never quit or didn't quit. And I hate that statement, which actually I'm going to make that very, very positive speech at Mr. DeCastile, why I don't like that. Because as a white belt and a yellow belt, I stopped a lot of times on my way to black belt. And it wasn't by choice, it was by necessity. My parents had a summer home and winter home. During the winter home, I took martial arts. The summer home was too far away, so every summer I quit karate. So I quit probably 4 years in a row and just restarted up. So I'm not a black belt that never quit. I quit, and I had probably, a heavy-handed mother that made me go back, but it was all in good. So we're going to talk about that. A lot of times something just comes up. All of a sudden, family breaks apart, someone loses their job, someone has to move out of town for a while. So I think a good letter, email going out that, a lot of times on the journey to white belt, we can have obstacles, and sometimes we have to quit. The whole idea is we never quit on the goal. We may quit on the training. If the goal is strong enough, then we have to reactivate ourselves. So I think it's just like that Tom Edison thing and how many times he tried to do a light bulb with 10,000 failures. Well, he didn't quit, but he had those times where he probably had to step back. So again, just talking to the people so they don't feel bad about themselves. You don't want to have people think that, man, I'm a quitter, because we always talk in class, winners never quit, winners never win. Well, I can still be a winner, and it just happened to quit for a short amount of time, but I got back on track. When I advertised this meeting this morning, I said, your ex-students become low-hanging fruit. And I kind of got this from Craig Haley. Craig Haley's got a school in Lighthouse Point. And one of his methods of getting new students is reactivating ex-students. You see, he's been in business for 12 years. If you lose 100 students a year, after 12 years, he's lost 1,200 students. But when people leave his school, they leave with that. There's no problems. Craig is always going to welcome me back. I had a great experience. That was a real strong school. Those guys trained hard. They were really concerned about their students. Those 1,200 people, since they had that good experience, if they're ever going to go to back, they're probably going to go to Craig's school. So he considers them low-hanging fruit. If those people had a great experience while they're in your school and you're treating them well after they left. So here's a guy who quit. Put yourself in this position. You quit the martial arts school. All of a sudden you get invited to alumni page. Something's coming up. I get an invitation for that. I get a nice motivational video. And I'm not even paying this guy, and he's still taking great care of me. So if I'm going to recommend a school to one of my friends, one of my coworkers, I'm going to recommend that school. So it's really important to keep this relationship going. So that's my ideas. Again, I just had to come up with this, so I called Exiting Student Protocol. I really like the RainMaker thing of calling it churn, because when I was talking to Charles, and all of a sudden Charles found out that he had 45 people quit, man, he was really down in the dumps. And I go, Charles, it's not your fault. Maybe some of it is, but it's not really your fault, because people get injured, people lose their job, people move, other things happen, families break apart, there's all kinds of things. So out of that 45, I'm sure not all those 40, so don't take that personal. I know, sometimes you feel like that, but when you start using the word churn is just that attrition is part of owning a martial arts school. It's just part of it. But if you say churn, you're probably not going to take it personal. Okay, we'll take the personal aspect out of it, and then we come up with a good system to make sure even after people do churn, we still have a way to nurture the relationship and get them back into our school. Mr. DeCastile, any comments?
No, I just thought that was great stuff, sir. In fact, I took, in addition to the regular type notes, I put action steps for today and action steps for tomorrow. And what I'm actually going to do right away today, it became my A3 while we were talking, is I'm going to go on and do a video. You know how I'm always sending out my videos. I'm going to go on and do a video where I mentioned my discussion with you today. And I basically tell these people this thing and then at the same time invite them to the Black Belt Extravaganza next weekend. I'll say, hey, I realized talking to my mentor, Grandmaster Greg Silva today, we were talking about the fact that things happen and obstacles come up in life, and sometimes people quit as a result of it. But we want to let you know you're always welcome back. And as a matter of fact, Master Silva is going to be down as my special guest of honor this next weekend, and something like that where I'm gonna tie all this together into a message that I can send out today.
Tell everyone about the challenge fight I'm going to have with Mr. Baxley.
What do you think, Mr. Baxley? Hey, Steve, first you got Bill Superfoot Wallace hitting you in the head, and now
So I'm going to have a challenge fight with Grandmaster Silva. I'm just going to take a knee.
I'm going to have the loser's limp. I'm going to walk. All right.
Hey, Steve, you going to throw in the towel for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, as long as that happens fast.
Yes, sir. I won't let it go as long as it did with Superfoot.
Yeah, where were you at on that? I'm putting that on you. You had the towel.
Well, you hadn't told me then. This time I'll be ready.
I always want you to throw the towel in, so that's the record. All right.
I'm going to stop this video for a second because I want to